is the sort of stuff we used to work on. Not that one you can see at the moment, or that one. Field Marshal Diesel. The tractor, David Brown had a little bit to do with, not a lot. Massive Ferguson, very little indeed. The PNB placement, we did have David working on that one. Field Marshal Diesel, a little bit. Fortunately, definitely.
Yeah, we'll have to get over there in a minute.
David Brown, yes. Fortunately, quite a lot anyway, so we even touched the hydraulics on that as well. So quite a lot of work on that one. The International, no, we didn't touch that. The Farmore next to it, we did. We worked on one of those. The Case, no, we didn't. That was too modern for our early days. The Ota, we had quite a bit to do with that. Commander Theobald had one of these down at Crofton Manor. They had cable steering, which gave us a reasonable amount of trouble with the cables, but it had a 410 horsepower engine unit in there, which worked quite well. Anyway, carry on. The Fordson next door, which you can see, we did everything to the Fordson. We did clutches, gearboxes, radiators, you name it, we did it. And in the old days, you had a great side and wash those off with TVO, or tractor vaporizing oils in the early days, and that was really, shall we say, a bit nasty.
Spade like there, look.
Yeah.
And one behind it.
Right, that's what the gear there. On the Field Marshal Diesel, all we did on that cartridge start, Jack Yates used to have one of these in the area. That's about the only one we saw in the area of these. It had a massive starting handle on it. If that ever came, well, it did come out actually. He got it wedged in the flywheel, came out and went up through the shed roof. So that was typical of that thing. David Brown. We did work on it, not a lot.
Whenever the camera going.
Stop there.
Cars are still coming in over there.
Right, go on.
repair. Right, this ransom car up here. Let's have a look at it.
Coming out of the gun here.
MG5 to the look of it. MG5
Tractor get full
to
car.
deal with those.
That's like the tractor doing good.
A bit closer, we'll put a stop and have a look at it. One behind that, it's a Simar, a rototiller thing, whatever you like to call it. Simar. I don't know about the blue thing coming out at all. Right, we'll have another look at the Simar. We did only short look at it. It's 2-stroke. It got a Wyco mag on it, ordinary Wyco mag. It had its day. It had a leather strap we used to wrap around the front pulley with a steel thing on the end, which was a bit nasty to say the least. Anyway, we'll carry on. Blue thing, I thought this yellow one.
Number 48 coming on, very good. Hello, mate.
These are all foreign to me to look at, I don't know what they are. All that contraption. I think that's a Mayfield, but I'm not sure. I think it is. I'm certain it's a Mayfield. I don't know what this is. Not some weird and wonderful. This has obviously got a Jack 5 in it, but I don't know what it is. Right, this is the Anzani with a Jack 5 engine in it. I think it was a Ford gearbox, its own worm drive, and chain drive to the wheels. MG40, I think that's a diesel there, ransom. And the PMB president. Another Anzani. BNB home plate, one or the other. And the fire one's Anzani as well.
Okay, Joyce.
You gotta admit, that's an old girl here, mate, without a date. see a little tractor there that flattened the SO4. We're actually on the right there. We haven't got any cutters on at the moment. Right, you've got the Anzani, you can see with the rubber tyres on. You've got an autocourt, I think it's an autocourt, that yellow contraption. And you've got a Clifford up this end, the green thing. Right, you've got the MG40 Ransom there. I'm almost certain that's a diesel. We're almost 99% certain it's a diesel. Move on a bit. I think that was a Mayfield just gone out of sight there. I didn't quite capture that one. It was a Mayfield. Got a B&B Playmate, I think that is. And what's that contraption with the lights in over the back? I'm not sure of that. Got a Colwood hoe. They had a Jap 2A on the Colwood. Next one along's a Simar. They're quite popular. The Howard Gem there. Next to that is the Atom. The gas starter contraption. What a Corto. So Howard Gem. Jack 601. Still do with them now, actually. Another Howard Gem with spade lugs stuck on it. We've got, what have we got here? We've got the, move a bit. That's a yeoman there I can see. One or two other bits and pieces in the back there, but I can't quite make them out yet. So have a look through and see what the score is. I don't know what the other ones are, I'm sure. Can't quite make those out. It might be a... we'll carry on.
I'm just going to take a pan round on the whole lot here.
In the early days, we used to work on an occasional lorry, which is going back a few years now, mind you.
Why don't we just walk through? That's him back there.
We worked on all these sort of rubbish hill things. Right, we nearly come to the end of this section. There's one or two more and I'll be fading it out. Right, this is the top of Brook Lane, as it used to be, going back a few years, mind you, this is. And at the top of Brook Lane, we used to have a paraffin bloke, Mr. Crockford, I think his name was, right on the corner of Brook Lane, which is, of course, that's all gone now, naturally. And what Mr. Farmer did, I was there a couple of weeks before he took over, actually, and he had the garage built at the top of Brook Lane, and later on he had the sides put on. And I'll just have a quick look through my notes on this one. One of my first jobs was to take all the spade lugs off of Colby's Fordson tractor, rear wheels. Of course, being a new boy, that nearly killed me off. We took them off for painting. In the early years, you had Trev Wilshire working with you, Joe Dawkins from Wickham, Nobby Clark, Jerry Beavis, etc. Mr. Webb was the manager in those years. He was a bit of a pain in the backside. You always used to be arguing about the time you left dinner time. And of course I had a watch in those years and we used to be checking times out. Of course you had a whistle, used to go off, a 1 o'clock whistle and things in those years. In those days it was very much agricultural, with Fordsons, these plant cedars, Ransoms, MG2, Anzanis, Iron Horse, Gravely motor hoe, Cold hoe, plus a Ransom Vibra hoe, B&B, Clifford, Autocorto and many others. We had an ex-army short wheelbase Bedford which we put a crane on. I'll just move up to the next picture. Right, this is the other place we used to own at the time. This is on the Botley Road. And you came down Station Road, which you can see there, and you've got pumps at the bottom there, which I used to work on after the war. Actually, we used to serve petrol there, and they used to have coupons and all the rest of it. And Cathy May is the big building on your left hand side. I need a pointer, I think. I'll stop there. Well, we'll continue. This was Cathy May's over here, this building here. The pumps I used to work on, that Station Road going up there, and this is the Botley Road coming down here. You've got, I think it was, what was it, the Midland Bank there? No, Barclays Bank there. You had Hackett's on the corner there, which is a local builder. Of course, this is going back a few years, naturally. Where were we? To continue where we were, we'll have a quick look at the rest of it. In those years, we'd go out with the little Bedford, repaired tractors on site, which used to be anything from radiators, clutches, and also bits and pieces like that. We also used to recondition these tractors in the workshop, of course, and most of the rebores and remetals, the shells, were done by Saunders over at Cadnam. Later on, Mr. Bartholomew was the sales manager, and we used to have Bill Smith who used to do sales as well. The bottom garage was one we're looking at now, and used to have a store in there. And in the early years, we used to get a trades bike out and ride from our top shop in Brook Lane down to this place to pick up some spare parts for the tractors and what have you. Of course, eventually that, with years, that passed away, that bit, and we just used it as a garage at one time and not as a stores. Anyway, we'll carry on to some of the early pictures. Right, the people you can see in the picture here, we've got George Fisher used to do all the cleaning up and in general. You've got Derek Garrett here. You've got Arthur Haynes, which was the foreman. You've got Lionel Blanchard, which is the same as I was, working type. And you've got Bill Smith Sells. We'll carry on to the next one. As you can see, this is the front of the workshop, which we used to have a whole lot then, which of course has changed hand a bit 2 or 3 times since then, yeah. And the other side of the road is all copse land there. Of course, it's all housing now. We'll carry on to the next one. Right here you've got the car section blokes. You've got Harry Clark here, Ted Perriot, and Arthur Fisher there. That was George Fisher's son. And you can see basically more of the front of the building here now. And you used to park your own cars on the forecourt then. You didn't have to park them somewhere else. You can see it, Arthur Fisher over there. Is it Arthur or George Fisher? No, that's George, isn't it? I don't know. Which one is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, this is Arthur and that one's George. George is the father. Anyway, carry on a bit further. The actual the entrance to our shop was next close to the British Legion, and I'll video some of that later on. We'll have another change of picture. Right, this is me, old Trev Wilshire's motorbike, and he used to ride in trials. This is Wilshire's motorcycles over at Lowford. He had the first trials bike to come in the area, even before the St Andrew Motorcycle Club got hold of it. They didn't go much on that. My motorbike's this old Velocette parked over here. There's the office there, which you had to go through the office. You had a bit of a cloakroom there, and you had toilets there as well. Here's one of the vans we had. You still keep the old number, 3242. It's not quite the same now. It's 5242 now. They've changed it. These were the working bays you worked in, there and there. I'll show you Trev Wilshire in a minute. That's the late Trev Wilshire. Died when he was 21, tumour on the brain. And he had various tumours up to then. And he was full of life, that chap was. And he used to be keen on trials and all that sort of stuff. Full of beans. He and I became good friends when we worked there. But of course his life was cut short through this tumour. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, this is the man I was apprenticed to, Arthur Gamble. This is down on Brosden Bridge, on the river bridge. And he lived down, I can't think of the name of the road is. I'll think of it later on, I suppose. Go past the Target pub, down that hill and up the other side, turn left. I can't think of the name of that road, but that's where he lived, down that road. And his father also worked there in the stores at the time. A bit of a character, Arthur was, Arthur Gamble. Anyway, we'll carry on from there. Well, here we are again. This is a truck called BTR, we used to call it, of course that was the 3 letters on it. You've got Lionel sitting on the front here. You've got Arthur Haynes, foreman, Trevor Bevan up here. I can't think of this other chap's name. And you can see it was all copse area in front of the garage then. You didn't have housing and nothing like that went on at all. And you can see the sort of stuff we sold with the bantams in the front row here. The old 2-strokes and what have you. Anyway, continue. Well, it's slightly different. The only different person's me. And I'm stood over here, as you can see. It's the same layout as what it was before, with the old bantams and what have you. We'll move across to another one. Right, I've got a bit of a washed out print here. You've got Arthur Haynes, Trev Bevan, Lionel and Derek Garrett. And you can see it's marked up office there. This is our heating arrangement. It was at one time an old an old fire there, which has just stood there for the time being. Right, we'll cut that one. Right, this is Derek Garrett in front of the workshop. You can see right around the sort of the concrete area. Looking straight across, that's Brook Lane going in front of you. Looking straight across, you can see all the wooded area there. We used to go out there in the dinner time with our motorbikes and have a burn rain there, do a sort of bit of like scrounging around there in our younger years, mad as brushes. Anyway, we'll stop there. Right, this is Claude Cox. We stuck him in this toy pedal car outside the garage, just to create a picture, which you can see. Claude was quite a character actually. He's passed away now. Well, he passed away quite a number of years ago actually. Anyways, we'll go to another shot. Right, this is Portsmouth Show on the Common. I didn't go to it. Well, I must have done, take the picture. That's a bit daft, isn't it? Yeah, you can see you've got a bantam up here, you've got a gem running round, and that's a Jap. But look at it, a Jap 600 I would say, because you can see the timing case and timing. This is a bantam you can see here without a date, probably a two-stroke bantam. I mean, in those years we used to go to every show in the local area, over to Romsey, if it was a Romsey show and things like that. We don't do that no more, but we used to in those years. We used to have a lorry, a Bedford lorry, a flatbed lorry, which we'd load up, and we used to hire, I don't know if it's Hills or something like that, with another lorry as well, and we used to go to all the shows. Those were the days, lads. That never come to pass. Anyway, let's go to the next picture. Right, that's a picture of a lot of the working types, but I can't recognise half of them. I think this one up here is Les Farmer, because I can see stick out ears. And I think that's Mrs. Farmer. Well, I can get when I can find it. It's so small. That's Mrs. Farmer there, I think. That could be Lionel. That's Claude, definitely down there. Oh, I don't know the rest of them. I can't quite make them out. But they're all to do with cars anyhow. Right, we'll stop that one. Right, this is Arthur Haynes. He's loading up, as you can see, a crawler tractor. I can't think of the name of it. Used to have a platypus, used to be in those years. And we used to load them up on a lorry and take them out to the shows. You can see, you can just make out the cars are swine in the background, which used to be on the front of the garage. And used to face the main A27. And all the front area was either grassland or gravel. And we could do what you could park as light there. Well, we'll stop there. The music in the background is Charlie Coons actually, which is a bit old, which goes roughly with the rest of this sort of do's, you might say. Right, where did we get to? In those years we had 5 Fordson vans, those 10-horse Fordson vans, Bedford flatbed lorry, which I've just spoken about, and then a little short wheelbase Bedford. What else we got? Down the other shop, which you saw earlier on, we had an office down there, which was the petrol office, and we had 2 women in there, used to do the accounts and what have you. There was Miss Morwood and Mrs. Gilman. What happens, we used to have an area where we used to run the cars up on, and used to service them, we'd squirt them with oil and that. You didn't have high pressure stuff like you got today. We used to oil up all the joints underneath. They had ordinary leaf springs in those years, not what they've got today, independent suspension. And if we couldn't find anybody that had a full licence, we used to drive the cars up there ourselves. There were 2 bits of channel iron up onto some brick piers. It was undercover, and we used to put them up on there and get underneath and do the job ourselves. Well, what used to happen, either Miss Maud or Mrs. Gilman used to spot us doing this. Of course, as soon as Mr. Farmer came back, all hell let loose. And they said that Mr. Farmer said to finish, if he catches anybody driving a vehicle which is not licensed to do so, he'll be fired instantly on the spot. So that stopped that lot. So we couldn't do that no more. Where else do we go? I'll stop that. What I'm trying to do is to cram in about over 40 years, 45 years. I started in 47, I've only had about 5 years out. I worked for swept for 6 weeks in my early life, packed it up, came back to Carter's, and then carried on working there, because I left as a friend rather than hated one another sort of business. That was okay. And then on top of that, I then left Mr. Jacobs' employ and went on for the basket factory, which I didn't last more than a fortnight. My knee went on that job, so that was the end of that lot. Then I went on for Gibbs for how long? For 18 months. They went broke. Gibbs did. We got taken over, and of course the company that took us over already had a maintenance staff. I used to do maintenance down there, down Gibbs. They were a boat manufacturing bits and pieces firm, and then of course we got booted out. And my charge hand, George Fuller, he spoke to his brother, which was at Maxim Marine, and he took me on down Maxim Marine, and I was there for 3 years. Sam Bourne was the governor down there, and Pete Fuller, he was the sort of manager down there, and that survived for 3 years, and that lot went up to Spate, and they got took over by Victoria Rampart Marine. But in the meantime, I'd been up to Carter's for an MOT, and George said, we're looking for a man up here in the agricultural or horticultural section as we were then. I said, well, good, I'll apply for the job, which I did, and I came back to Carter's again. So I'll just read you some of the people that we had working at one time. We had Lionel Blanchard, Arthur Haynes, foreman, Derek Garrett, Mick Morton, Colin Hyatt, George Fisher, Harry Clark, Ted Perriot, later on Derek Snow, Dave Hawkins, Derek Matcham, Peter Jackson was the works manager. We'll get to him in a minute as we go through. I'll stop it about there and we'll carry on through. We'll talk about some of the rest of it. Right, this is the sort of space we had in the other shop, which is now Cars of Swanwick owned. We don't own that at all now. In the picture we've got Dave Hawkins here. You've got Derek Matcham at the back and Derek Snow here. I can't think of this other man's name. He's car section, the other chap. He's not in our section at all. I'll just back off to give you an idea what sort of machinery we had in those years. Right, you've got the van there. Where are we? There we go. Stood on the in those years used to be the toilets, funnily enough. The front of the shop you can see here. Here's the front of the shop, and the back goes out there through the back door. Still similar to that now. We used to have our spray booth for the grinder there. We used to do grinder cylinders. Here's the grinder. The one we've got today is there. The fire is there, which used to be a hot air blower, and you used to draw the cold air into the bottom. If you was anywhere near it, it'd freeze you up from the knees upwards. This is the office where the manager there, Mr. Jackson, used to sit. Anyway, we'll carry on to the next shot. You can see the transit van we had then. I've got the dog coming as well. So this is the sort of area we had, and giving an idea how many machines we had in those years, which is quite a few. We'll carry on to another shot. Right, this is Mr. Jackson, the manager bloke. He was quite a smoothie. Ex-submariner. He came from Cuckoo Lane, where he should have stopped there actually. Out here you can see we had the machines on display. This area is where Cars of Swanwick owned now. We had some taps and dials in those years, 1 or 2 cutting cylinders on there, and we had like a set of like rollers there. We just put the boards on with the jobs on and just pulled them around the line. There's all the machines over there. You can see them in the back there. He's looking at a newspaper actually and watching over the door over to see if Mr. Farmer's going to come through. He got one of these job sheets pulled out here, his elbows on it, and this is what he's looking at that, looking through the door at the same time so he won't get caught out. What he used to do, him and Red Spence used to go out, take a machine back in the morning and go in the local pub down down in Titchfield, have a bit of booze up and come back at about 1 o'clock. This went on for quite some time actually, until one or two people sort of noticed Mr. Farmer, and he began to get the idea, and he gave up after that. He thought, no, it's enough, enough's enough. So that was the end of Mr. Jackson. He got rid of him. Right, we're carrying with another print. Right, you've got Derek Matcham here, Dave Hawkins and Derek Snow. The grinders on there, but you can see there was nice shiny shafts through here. See these nice shiny shafts? No rust at all on those. And the bottom blade grinder next to it. Looking around this way a touch. We had a shear grinder, and you can see all the shears up here too, waiting to be ground. Bantam, as you can see, and of course the old Flymo thing, plus a load of rubbish under the bench as well to boot. Right, we'll carry on with the next print. Right, here's another shot of the workshop, all the machines in. You can see there's plenty of room those years. And if you notice the number plate, 1970, that number is on that car. You can see the old battery ATCO rubbish, a haterette, a wide selection of bits and pieces there, all bits, you name it. There's a Victor down in there too, the old wind-up start with a spring on it. When you spend long enough, you can study all the bits and pieces. Let's swing it around a bit. Let's have a look around this side. As far as we can go. We've got some new motors on display up the top and on top of boxes. That looks like a greens there. What else have we got there? Well, anyway, there's loads of odd bits and pieces which you don't see now, of course. Anyway, we'll put another print in. Right, starting again. I'm on the top of the office now. That's Reg Spencer's car at Vauxhall, and there's mine there, which is a Morris 1000. As I said, we used to park then in the front of the works, and you got all the different machines on display here. It's still run by Mr. Farmer then, and all your different machines here as well, Bantams, what have you. You still had, I think Mr. Jackson was still the manager bloke at the time. You can see his office here where he used to sit in there. And our stores, as you can see, was straight in front of you as well. That was the stores counter there. The stores was behind, as you can see. The other side, which you don't see, would be the car workshop, which is directly behind me. As I'm facing it, it would be behind me. And we did do motorbike MOTs in those years too. Anyway, we'll put another print in. Right, in the middle of all this chaos, Muggins got married, as you can see. This is Titchfield Church. This was December 56, 23rd December 1956. That's Joe Muggins there, and that's Sue, my brother, my grandmother, and my father. My father-in-law and mother-in-law, and my mother over there. And who else we got? Pat Spencer, which is Sue's friend, and that's Sue's sister, this one here, and that's Sue's grandmother there. And we've got two other friends as well, and that's December 1956 at Titchfield Church. The photograph taken by Kathy May, and it was only 12 taken, only 12 photographs, and it was as foggy as old boots. Right, let's stop that one. Right, this is probably the first year that Mr. Jacobs took over. We held a Christmas get-together in the actual showroom at the front. Right, well, we'll put a selection of photographs through here. Still the do. There's George there, George Dunkley, and Claude Cox. I don't know these. He works in the car section. I can't think of his name. I don't know who this chap is with his back to us. Right, George doing his thing with a tea chest and a broom handle. Same time, same the Christmas party. Here we got Lionel's wife, Lionel, Trev Bevan and Bill Barrett. He used to come from Burridge Road, about halfway down the hill roughly, I think, on the left hand side. Bill lived, Bill Barrett. He used to do any odd jobs that wanted, sweeping up and things like that. This is the same Christmas party as the rest of them. Right, we've got here Rosemary Farmer, Mr. Farmer's daughter, this one here, Mr. Rogers and Joan Rogers. Joan used to be on reception. She used to keep cutting you off on reception. She had quite a big sort of switch gear on reception. Derek Snow with a modern hairstyle, Mrs. Jacobs, Thelma, and Lionel Jacobs in the background there, and of course the booze. Same time, that Christmas party. I think there's only one. We only had one, I think, and that was it. But here we got Thelma here. You can see her frock. I'm sure that's Stan Jacobs. That's Lionel, definitely over there. I don't know the other people around here, I'm not sure. You did have Ron Bunting and his father was there. It might be his father that you can see just here with the glasses on, but I'm not sure about that. They were all car section, they weren't in our section at all. I think we've already seen this one on a bigger scale, but I'll go through the people. This lady used to clean up the offices upstairs. She wasn't in the workshop at all with us in any way. Lionel's wife, Lionel, Trev Bevan, Derek Snow, Mr. Rogers, Mrs. Rogers, Joan Rogers, and Rosemary Farmer there. I don't know who this person is. She might have been Derek's wife. I don't know. Not sure about that one. The late Mr. Farmer sitting down here, and his friends, these two. That's all I can tell you about that. I don't know. Same Christmas party. Mr. Farmer died in the late 70s, and I went to his retirement party, and I took the organ down. I took the Baldwin organ. That's the first time I've ever taken the organ out with me, and that was in the late 70s, and that was down the Victory Hall down at Warsash. I'll just put the invitation paper up. I'll try and tell you who these are if I can think of them. George Dunkley, of course, Bill Barrett, me, Mr. Farmer, and let me have a look round here. I think that's his daughter there. Derek Matcham's in the back, Lorna Blanchard, Joan Rogers, Derek Snow, the chap I can't think of, the cleaning up lady, Mick Gary from the car section, Mr. Bunting. What did he do? Did he work on the pumps? He could have worked on the pumps. So did he, possibly. Oh no, that's Rosemary Farmer there. And John A. Church, Claude Cox down here. So I'm not sure who this is looking around the corner, but it doesn't matter. That's all that's there, I think, in that photograph. This was taken almost the last. Well, obviously he was packing up. Name was Mr. Farmer was then. It wasn't long after that. I bet a couple of years. I think he passed away. His trouble basically was he had like lung trouble. He couldn't breathe hardly, and at nights he used to be up half the night trying to clear his throat out, and he was in quite a state. But he was always on the premises all the time. You knew exactly what was going on and who was doing it. And if you said something at a place, I bet you was almost stood behind you. It was that sort of situation. Anyway, that's as I said, he's passed away now, so that's another item that's gone by. Anyway, we'll carry on with another print. Right, this is the invitation which we received to go to Eric Palmer's retirement party, which was at the Victory Hall, Warsash. You can see it's already there. Just to say thank you for the association to Carter Swanwick and to extend the season's greeting. Pity wouldn't it have been better if there was a time on it. There's no time on it at all. There's Mr. Farmer's signature. So we'll stop at that point. This is me in my younger years. Well, I had some hair in those days. Anyway, I'll show you an old print of Trev Wilshire and the garage, which it was quite a number of years ago. I'll just take my print off. I've had enough of looking at me already. Well, this is Trev Wilshire when he had an MAC Balasset 350, as you can see. This is going back a few years, before he had the trial bike, of course. Now, we'll show you a bit of the garage in a minute, what it was like back in the early years. He's buried over at Burleston Church, actually, Trev is. We went to the funeral. Well, I'll just show him the garage now. That's Trev Wilshire's, well, it wasn't his garage, no, his father's garage actually, going back in the, what would it be, 60s, possibly? Not even before that. As you can see, it's just 3 pumps there. They've got the lean, look, I don't know why they've got the lean, that's the print's gone a bit funny. No, they do look like they're on the lean. Well, it doesn't matter to me, must be the position. And I'm stood the other side of the road actually. That's the road that goes through Burleston. Of course now it's changed completely now. It's a massive garage there now, nothing like it is there. And we'll fade at that point, I think, if I can find the fade button. That could be it there. Right, a slight change in venue now. This is what I used to do. I've got a love of music. I used to play the organ at Bonamy. That was a disabled holiday camp in Dobwell Lane. You got, well, where's my stick? You got Jack here, Limburn. Got me here, and Rhoda, my other friend. She used to play the piano. I needed the music. Rhoda didn't. All she needed to tell was to be told what the first note was. She was away. Jack used to play the drums. I played the organ, and Rhoda, you can see on the piano. Rhoda Sev. We had 12 glorious years at Bonamy. We used to entertain the old dears from anywhere up Birmingham, London, local, Brighton, Hove. They all used to come there for a week or a fortnight. They had a good time was had by all there. And of course now that's all changed. It's now a nursing home, and of course you've got the same people there all the time there, so they don't want any entertainment in that sense of word. We were out there every Friday night, and I used to come up on Tuesday with a keyboard, and we had 12 years of that. Anyway, I'll put another print in showing you the manager bloke. Right, the chap with the vacuum cleaner under his arm is John Cadman. He was a sort of, they used to come on, he was in charge of all the stuff that was there. He wasn't the owner or the manager of the actual Bonamy house. He was just a sort of duty manager that was on at the time. He'd probably have so many days on, so many days off, and so on. And he was quite a character, John was. He used to muck about and anything to make the old dears laugh. As you can see, they've got quite a big TV set here. You had a microphone there. You can see the drum kit here, and you had a PA system where you had microphone and amplifiers and good speakers. Anyway, that's one aspect. As I said, we stuck there for 12 years. We saw quite a few people and quite a lot of disablement in the people that came there at times. If you couldn't do any get about at all, you used to bring a helper with you, which sorted the situation. Anyway, we'll go on to another print now. Right, this is another print at Bonamy. Here you can see I'm playing the drums here. Dave Stent is another whiz kid on the organ, and he's top quality within the day. And he doesn't need any music either. So those two got together and they have a good old rave up. I'm playing the drums here. I've known Dave since he was 14, and he's quite a character on the organ with his Dave, and he's also as good on the piano as well. He lives in Norfolk now. Well, I'll put another print in. Well, here we are in the Thornton Hall at Gosport. I think that was it called, Thorngate, get it right, man, Thorngate Hall in Gosport. Dave, you can see, is just getting ready to sort out the organ. They've got a 3-manual Compton organ in there. There's my drum kit here, which I've obviously taken the picture, so I'm not setting that lot up. And Rhoda here waiting to get going on the piano. I used to belong to the Gosport Organ Club then. That's my radio there. I was going to record the sound. Anyway, we'll put another print in, which will show you the size of Compton. Behind those curtains are the sound part of it. There's a set of curtains there and another set over here which you can't see. One comes out of one side of the organ, and the bass lock comes out the other box. Well, I'll start putting another print up. Right, this is Dave in full flight, and I took a picture while he's playing the organ. He's reading music there. It's obviously something that they've requested, so he's got to get the music out and read that lot. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's the love of music side of me. And I'll just fade that section once I found the fade button. I've got to do this first thing in the morning. I'm just going to get all this gear on. I've done this for the last 14 years, going to and fro corridors. There's no stuff on the table because it's obviously not first thing in the morning, but I will do this every morning. Every morning this takes place. You think I'll be able to leave all this alone now? Peaceful. We normally got a radio going, so I'll just stick that on.
Criminals has reached breaking point. The Prison Officers Association say patients are getting out of control because inexperienced officers are being left in charge. Its General Secretary David Evans wants an official inquiry into conditions at the hospital.
The staff there don't have the full confidence in the control and supervision of the patients at both. There are practices there. As we say, inexperienced staff being asked to perform duties that they've not been trained properly for, then the proper levels of supervision and control of the patients has a detrimental effect.
3 children and 2 adults have died after a fire swept through a flat above a shop in North London.
Normally we do it first thing in the morning, but there's not a lot of light about in the morning, so we're doing it roughly midday or thereabouts.
The fire brigade were called
So see what we're doing.
this morning. The fire was burning in flats above shops in Edmonton. One man had already escaped. Firemen using breathing apparatus fought their way in.
Getting
They
crashed.
found the bodies of a man and a woman on an upper floor. 3 children were rescued and taken to the North Middlesex Hospital, but all 3 died shortly afterwards. The children are believed to have been under the age of 6, and all 5 dead are believed to have been members of the same family. The fire is now out, and a detailed examination of the property has begun in order to find out the cause.
An intercity train has been evacuated after catching fire while travelling through the Black Country. The train was forced to stop in the early hours near the M6 as fire spread underneath the carriages.
You see what a rigmarole this lot is?
And the passengers were taken on to Wolverhampton. Labour say they'll halt plans for the controversial Salisbury bypass if they win the general election. The government has yet to make a final...
I find you can look better through here with one eye open.
Go ahead.
Clear yourself.
Gilmore reports. Labour's undertaking to
Well, sure, you're looking at me now.
comes just days after the government's own advisors at the Countryside Commission described the scheme as devastating and called on ministers to think again. Critics claim the road would ruin one of the last remaining open views of Salisbury Cathedral, immortalised in a painting by Constable. In an interview with the Independent on Sunday, Labour's spokesman on environment protection, Michael Meacher,
Right, where's
said the
my keys?
bypass would only reduce traffic by about a fifth on some roads.
There's one set of keys and there's the other set of
Highly
keys.
unlikely to survive under
You just
them.
got to put a stop on it there.
About 30 shooters
Press the red button.
joining campaigners marched
Not
on
fade.
Saturday morning.
No. This way. I need to crack the shutters quick up. You didn't put a stop on that.
What, just switch the red button?
Yeah, just push the button. Every day I come up this blasted road.
Stop moaning because you put me off.
I know, come wind or rain.
Be happy.
I'm talking to Meg, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the camera.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Oh, Lord.
And wind or rain, snow if necessary. And at the moment, this time of the year, is terrific traffic all the way up. Not today because it's on a Sunday. But normally, this will be chock-a-block in the mornings. I come up this road roughly at, 4 to 8 in the mornings. And you can't move up here sometimes. To be like this. You saw the old, the original road pattern, where we had like a straight up, straight left. In the morning, this is chaos through here. You think after the end, after the February next year, I won't have the hassle come along here then. About a mile and a half to work every day, roughly, times 4. Now we're approaching Carter's on the right-hand side now. I'm going into the car park, which I do every morning. Strike me Bob, somebody else has done there as well. Can't win, can you?
Maybe they're going to look at the car sales.
I would normally go straight round into the back here. Like you just show on the camera end to the left.
Yeah.
I would normally go there and I'd park there. So just stop it there, can you?
Fade or not?
No, just stop it.
Yeah. Ready? Yeah. Yes.
I've got the key in my pocket.
Oh no, it's your plate.
I couldn't get that to work.
Right, this is where it all began. Carters. Right, here we have an advert, which is for my job actually, and I'm leaving in February 98, and the date today is the 23rd of May 97. As you can see, the advert went in about 2 months ago roughly, and we had 1 or 2 people reply to the advert, which most of them were car mechanics, etc. Anyway, this chap replied, he's Chief Petty Officer, he comes from Waterlooville, and he's starting in probably near enough the beginning of June, which is probably a week or 2 weeks time. He's had experience in this job, apparently worked at Daedalus on the all that sort of stuff, Daedalus, which was, at the camera don't stop on me, mowers and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we'll carry on down. Where are we? Yeah, I can do. Slow down. With no doubt you can read what's on there. And he, as I said, he's starting about a couple of weeks' time, maybe thereabouts. As you can see, the date, I'm pleased to apply writing by the 7th of February, but it wasn't 2 months ago, wasn't it? Very much 3 months ago.
what are we in now, May? February, March, April, May, yeah. So that's when the advert was in the Echo. And as I said, he starts in June, so he'll be starting. I'll leave the music going for a few seconds. I'll take the picture off and I'll put one of Carter's cards up, what we got at the moment. Right, let's have a look at the card now. Let's back off a touch. Right, that's roughly there. That's not bad, right, okay. So this is the sort of stuff that the man's got to deal with when he eventually gets into the swim of it. At the moment, we've only got 3 hydraulic benches up there. I'm on one, Graham Fisher's on another one, and Jim Widnam is on the other one. And we've got a fixed metal bench, which is only a pokey little thing. This chap will say, but he's going to start, he'll have to share with whoever's got the ride-ons on the bench. He'll have to take the bench over and we'll have to work on his bench and vice versa for about what's it now, come out of June. That's 6-7 months we'll have to go through that rigmarole. And I'll move across there. This is looking from the A27 towards the front of the shop. I don't think you can pick out where they are. This one at this end is a long flight. What's that? That's an Alco, the next red one to it. What those others are, I have no idea. I should deal with that in about 44 years. Looks like long flight other ones as well. That yellow thing at the end. Can't think what that is now. I will later on, no doubt. Don't matter. Anyway, that's the sort of stuff you're going to deal with. You can see we deal with quite a few bits and pieces. All types of garden machinery, chainsaws and all that sort of stuff. Ride-ons. The biggest one we deal with is a Yanmar ride-on. Now it's about 10 grand to buy. That's got a hydraulic drive and things like that. Since I've been starting there years ago, it was all, you didn't have hydraulic drives on anything then. Of course, even the smallest things now got hydraulic drives if you're going to pay the price for it. Anyway, that's enough of chit chat on that. I will fade all the bits and pieces out now. We'll carry on later on. This is 97. This is May 97. Anyway, let's get this off, and I'll fade the sound out in a few seconds' time, so I can turn the volume down a bit, right? Otherwise, it'll be a loud bang and a crack. Right, let's get that turned down. Right, the chap that's going to take my job turned up in June, Bob Hellier. It looks like it's spelled Hayler, or Hayler, H-E-Y-L-E-R, Hayler, they pronounced it. Anyway, he's about 50 odd, and greatly overweight, so that's neither here nor there. And also, Bob had a stutter. But anyway, he was quite a friendly sort of chap, and anyway, he stopped for about just over a month, and he left in July. He just wasn't up to the standard required, and he used to take ages to do a job, and then at the end of the time he wasn't sure he was going to go or not. And anyway, the other man in the office had a natter one about it, and he thought he could take as long time as he wanted to. You know, there was no limit on time. I don't know where he'd been working for, but apparently it was 10 years since he'd been in this trade. So anyway, that was him gone. This is a new advert in the Echo, which was in Fridays, which was August 8th. So we're now looking for another bloke to take my job on. I'll have to keep this in a straight line or something too. The other chap we took on for a driving job replaced Monty, and that was John Tyndall. He's quite a reasonable chap. He'd do anything you asked him to do without him moaning and why he shouldn't be doing it and what have you. Where Monty would question everything you said. then he would decide whether he's going to do it or not. Anyway, this chap, John Tyndall, comes from Huntscombe Road, and I think he's about 45, 50 bracket, somewhere in that range. So far, no problems at all. So anyway, this, I'll say that the other bloke, Bob, had this other chap, Bob. Once or twice I've said to him, there's an easy way of doing that. He said, "You sure?" I mean, let's face it, I've been in this trade for about 44, 45 years. He's asked me if I'm sure what I'm talking about. And as I say, I think he's a bit reluctant to take advice from me. But anyway, that's another story now. So he's gone now, so that's the end of Bob Howlier. So we're looking forward to the new chap when he arrives. What he'll be like, nobody knows. He's obviously got to apply in writing to the manager, and it'll all stem from there. Anyway, that's enough chit chat for now, and when the new chap arrives, we'll take it up from there. I'll just put a fade on and we'll call it a do. If I can find the fade button. Right, that's got the fade button, so here we go.
Right, this is when I was on a week's holiday. I decided to have a wander up Carter's, and this is what I took. Hi, John. That was John Tyndall, the driver chap. Very just making a video. Not too bad, John. Although we had one day last Wednesday, let's see, poured down. We had everything went down in thunder, the lot. Hello, lucky people. Right, the red thing is the washing off thing where we wash all our small bits off, which we steam clean later on each side. I'm having a working week so far.
Yeah.
I'll demolish the fire this morning, completely.
Yeah, well, gas fire.
Yeah. This is the bottom blade grinder on the left hand side here, and further on. 2/3 together, but not complete yet. That's a cylinder grinder, which you can grind all your cutting cylinders on. Side of the border as well, and had a gauge inside. Couldn't see nothing really, and a bit of dust in the bottom, that's about all. Because I said you're back. That is a valve refacer there on the right, which is donkey's years old. Way back in my early days we got that, Black & Decker. It starts banging all out of you. In front of you there is the test equipment, which you test all electrical goods before they leave the workshop. It's by law now, you've got to test everything. I thought, well, I'll have a visual shot all round, you see. It's trade busy, I should think, isn't it?
You could say that.
Just a little.
car decided they wanted to pack up when I got down Honiton.
Your car?
Yeah. So it literally switched off, didn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah. We got down all right, no problem. And I went out on the Sunday, and
my bench is on the left here, with all the rubbish on, which somebody's put on because I'm on holiday. This was the second week of my holiday, and on the right-hand bench is where Graham works. You can see the old bin at the back there.
I didn't even misfire or nothing, just switched straight off. Yeah, and points were dirty. I cleaned them up on a double yellow line. What can you do? And went from there and on.
It's been alright since?
Yeah.
You've got the welding bench up there, metal welding bench, which is electric welding, and the gas welders in front of you there.
Ooh. What is that here?
Cavalier.
Oh, well, that's what.
There's Graham's tools there on the left, all his socket set, brand new stuff. This is the video
Who's
taken
that
here.
good-looking chap out there? Oh, it's Jim.
Hey.
Right, there's Jim. He's about 23. He comes from over up the Highlands.
Jim, that's the bloke. Got Graham here, busy.
Right, there's Graham Fisher. He's 20 at the moment. And as I said, this video was taken before the new chap started, Phil Locke.
I'll walk out to the showroom now. There's our fan. Don't say anything out of the ordinary, because remember it's recording. But I can always stop it out there if I don't want to. Who works in a... Well, I'll walk out in the showroom now.
Well, I can just check these prices now. What will it be like another year's time? I ask myself. This is Pete Winter, this is a charge iron. Pete comes from over Swathing.
No good you sneaking out here, mate.
Yeah. Keep that away.